Judicial rascality in Nigeria, implications and why the country should worry. The judiciary is the last hope of the common person and the cornerstone of any democratic society. In Nigeria, the courts are constitutionally empowered to interpret laws, settle disputes, protect fundamental rights, and serve as a check on executive and legislative excesses. However, when judicial officers engage in conduct that appears arbitrary, biased, corrupt, or inconsistent with established legal principles, a phenomenon often described as judicial rascality, the consequences extend far beyond the courtroom. Such conduct poses a serious threat to the nation's democratic stability, economic development, and social cohesion. Judicial rascality manifests in various forms, including contradictory judgments, abuse of ex parte orders, undue political influence, disregard for legal precedent, delays in the administration of justice, and corruption. While many Nigerian judges discharge their duties with integrity and professionalism, instances of judicial misconduct have generated public concern and raised questions about the credibility of the justice system. Implications of judicial rascality. 1. Erosion of public confidence in the judiciary. The most immediate consequence of judicial rascality is the loss of public trust. Citizens expect courts to be impartial arbiters of justice. When judgments appear influenced by political interests, financial inducements, or personal considerations, people begin to doubt the integrity of the judicial process. Once confidence in the courts declines, citizens may no longer view litigation as a reliable means of resolving disputes. 2. Weakening of the rule of law. The rule of law requires that everyone, regardless of status or political affiliation, be subject to the same legal standards. Judicial rascality undermines this principle by creating the perception that justice can be manipulated. If court decisions become unpredictable or selective, respect for legal institutions diminishes, and the law loses its authority as the ultimate guide for societal conduct. 3. Threat to democratic governance. In a constitutional democracy, the judiciary plays a crucial role in resolving electoral disputes and ensuring compliance with constitutional provisions. Judicial rascality can distort democratic outcomes by legitimizing irregular political processes or creating uncertainty through conflicting judgments. This weakens democratic institutions and may encourage political actors to rely on judicial maneuvering rather than popular mandate. 4. Economic consequences and investor uncertainty. Investors seek environments where contracts are enforceable and disputes can be resolved fairly. A judiciary perceived as compromised increases the risks associated with doing business. Domestic and foreign investors may become reluctant to invest in Nigeria if they believe judicial outcomes can be influenced by factors other than law and evidence. Reduced investment translates into slower economic growth, fewer jobs, and diminished national prosperity. 5. Increase in corruption. Judicial rascality can reinforce a culture of corruption by creating the impression that legal accountability can be avoided through influence or financial inducement. When individuals believe that justice can be bought, corruption spreads beyond the judiciary and infects other institutions, weakening the overall governance framework. 6. Encouragement of self-help and social instability. When citizens lose faith in the courts, they may seek alternative means of obtaining justice, including vigilante actions, mob justice, or other unlawful methods. Such developments threaten social order and increase the likelihood of conflict. A society where people no longer trust legal institutions is vulnerable to instability and violence. 7. Damage to Nigeria's international reputation. A nation's judicial system is often viewed as a measure of its commitment to democracy and good governance. Persistent allegations of judicial misconduct can damage Nigeria's image in the international community, affecting diplomatic relations, foreign investment, and international partnerships. Why Nigeria should worry. Nigeria should be deeply concerned about judicial rascality because the judiciary is the institution that ultimately safeguards the Constitution. When other arms of government exceed their powers, citizens look to the courts for protection. If the judiciary itself becomes compromised, there may be no effective mechanism left to restrain abuse of power. The country should also worry because public trust, once lost, is difficult to rebuild. A judiciary that lacks credibility cannot effectively perform its constitutional responsibilities. The consequences can include political instability, weakened institutions, increased corruption, and a growing culture of lawlessness. Furthermore, Nigeria's development aspirations depend heavily on strong institutions. Economic transformation, democratic consolidation, and national security all require a judicial system that is independent, competent, and trusted. Judicial rascality undermines each of these objectives by creating uncertainty, discouraging accountability, and weakening confidence in governance. Perhaps most importantly, judicial rascality threatens the social contract between the state and its citizens. People obey laws largely because they believe the legal system is fair. When that belief disappears, the legitimacy of government itself can come into question. Conclusion: judicial rascality is not merely a legal problem. It is a national challenge with profound political, economic, and social consequences. Its implications include the erosion of public trust, the weakening of the rule of law, threats to democratic governance, reduced investment, increased corruption, and social instability. Nigeria should worry because the health of its democracy and the success of its development agenda depend on the integrity of its judicial institutions. Strengthening judicial accountability, enforcing ethical standards, protecting judicial independence, and ensuring transparency are essential steps toward preserving the credibility of the courts and securing the nation's future. A judiciary that commands public confidence is not simply desirable. It is indispensable for the survival and progress of the Nigerian state. Please like and share this video to contribute to the debate for a better Nigeria. Also, remember to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content.